looking at your lesson 16 problem set, page 115. Lesson 16 problem set, page 115 from your Learn book. We're looking at number 1. Okay, the directions say to estimate first. What is estimating?
Like guessing.
Rounding. Estimating is rounding. So we're going to round first. Then we're going to solve each problem. It says to model with a tape diagram and explain if your answer is reasonable. All right, so let's look at number 1. Number 1 says, on Monday, a farmer had sold 25,196 pounds of potatoes. On Tuesday, he sold 18,023 pounds. On Wednesday, he sold some more potatoes. In all, he sold 62,409 pounds of potatoes. So let's start with drawing our tape diagram of what we know. I know this farmer sold potatoes. Do I know the total amount of potatoes that he sold?
Yep.
What's the total amount?
62,409.
So where's that 62,409 going to go on our tape diagram? Yeah, it's the total. It takes up that whole rectangle that we drew for our diagram. So I'm going to write 62,409. How many parts are there? It's a little bit different than any of that we've done before. How many parts are there, Harper?
I said 3.
There's 3 parts. How do you know there's 3 parts?
Because on Monday he sold. Because for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Yeah, Monday he sold 25,196 pounds. I'm just going to put MON for Monday. Tuesday, that was the second day. He sold 18,023 pounds. On Wednesday, he sold some more potatoes. Do we know how many he sold on Wednesday?
No. We need
No.
a variable.
So we need a variable. What variable would make sense to use?
W.
A what?
W.
A W for Wednesday or a
P. Potato.
P for potato. Either one would make good sense, wouldn't it? Okay, let's use, you can write whichever one you want. I'm going to put a W for Wednesday. But you can put whatever you want. That's completely up to you. So we've made sense of the problem now. We know how much he sold on Monday is a part. The amount he sold on Tuesday is a part. And we have another part that we don't know, which is what was sold Wednesday. We also know our total is 62,409. Okay, so let's look at part A. Says about how many pounds of potatoes did the farmer sell on Wednesday? Estimate by rounding each value to the nearest thousand, then compute. Compute just means to find the answer. So for A, we're going to round each one to the nearest thousand. If I round 18,023 to the nearest thousand, I have 18 thousands and 0 hundreds. Is that going to be above the midpoint or below? Below. So it's going to round to 18,000. Okay. If I look at 25,000, is 196 more than 100? Or I'm sorry, more than 500 or less than 500? Less than 500, so it's going to round to 25,000. How about 62,409? Have 62 thousands. Is 409 above 500 or below 500? Below. So it's going to round to About 62,000. All right, so in blue, I've written our rounded values. Jaden, you said you knew what we needed to do. What do we need to do to...
Okay, I'm not fully sure, but I'm pretty sure we're going to have to add it together.
Okay, what are we going to add together?
I can't say that, but
Monday and Tuesday?
yeah, Monday and Tuesday put that together.
Yeah, we've got to put together Monday and Tuesday. So if I add together the 25,000 pounds, or about 25,000 pounds that he sold Monday, and the 18,000 pounds from Tuesday, that's going to give me those two parts combined. So 5 plus 8 is 13. 1 plus 2 plus 1 is 4. So he sold about 43,000 pounds of potatoes on Monday and Tuesday. I'm solving for what he sold on Wednesday. How am I going to figure out the missing part? Now what are we going to have to do? What are we going to have to do now, Jaden?
We're going to add up to that number that, help and see that number.
Yeah, we've got to get from 43,000 to 62,000. So we can do that by adding up, or we can do it by subtracting. So our total is 62,000. The part we know is 43,000. So I know that I won't have any ones, tens, or hundreds. So moving over to my thousands, if I have 2, can I take 3 away? Nope. So I've got to go borrow.
You have to go to your 6 and make that a 5 and make your 2 a 12.
Very good, Jaden. 12 minus 3 is, and 5 minus 4 is 1. So what's the approximate or the rounded value of potatoes that he sold on Wednesday?
19,000.
About 19,000. He had about 19,000 pounds of potatoes. All right. In just a minute. All right, part B says to find the precise number of pounds of potatoes sold on Wednesday. All right, so we found our estimated value. We know it should be, W is about 19,000 pounds. We're going to move on to B to find the precise number of potatoes sold on Wednesday. What does precise mean? Exact. Now we're looking for the exact amount. So to solve for B, instead of using our rounded values, we're using the actual values that they gave us in the problem. That's what we have written in red. So we're going to solve the same way, aren't we? Instead of using rounded numbers, we're just using the actual numbers now. So we know the part sold on Monday was 25,196 pounds. The part sold on Tuesday was 18,023 pounds. If I add these together, 6 plus 3 is 9. 9 plus 2 is 11. I'm going to write down the 1 and regroup the 10. 1 and 1 makes 2. Okay. 5 plus 8 is 13. I'm going to regroup the 1. And 1 plus 2 plus 1 is 4. So the actual amount of potatoes that the farmer sold on Monday and Tuesday is 43,219. Is that pretty close to our estimated value? Yeah, because we said it was about 43,000. So that's really close. All right. So we still need to solve for W to figure out how many pounds of potatoes he sold on Wednesday. So to do that, I'm going to take my total, which was 62,409 pounds. And I'm going to subtract the parts that we know, 43,219. 19. Okay, well, right over to the side or right there. You can write down in part C if you need to. All right, let's see if we can subtract. Can I subtract the ones?
Yes.
Can I subtract my tens? Nope, so I need to borrow.
Take that a 3 and make your 0, 10, and that's a 9.
Okay, so now I can subtract my tens. I can subtract the hundreds. Can I subtract the thousands?
No.
I'm going to make my 6 into a 5. And that 2 will become a 12. We can subtract that, and we can subtract our 10,000. So we are ready now.
Yes.
9 minus 9 is 0. 10 minus 1 is 9. 3 minus 2 is 1. 12 minus 3 is 9. And 5 minus 4 is 1. So what's the actual value of W? 19,190. So the actual amount of potatoes that he sold on Wednesday was 19,190. Is that close to our estimate of 19,000?
Yes.
Yeah. So part C down there at the very bottom says, is your precise answer reasonable? Is it reasonable? Yeah. Because when we compare our amount from our estimate to the actual amount, they were really close. So we know that we did that right. All right, so for your virtual Wednesday work, you're going to complete number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5 the exact same way that we completed number 1, okay? So for your virtual Wednesday work, you are completing the rest of this lesson 16 problem set. I need you, all of it, yes ma'am. You need to put it, so you only have 4 more problems to solve. Put this in your math folder so that you know where it's at. Okay. And I'll put your assignment on Google Classroom to remind you, but know that you have your papers are supposed to be in your math folder.